The last 2 weeks I've been listening to a lot of men rights issues, especially MGTOW. That stands for Men Going Their Own Way. And I've been listening to MGTOW, Sandman, and also another guy I've been listening to is Clarey. Hopefully I pronounced his name correctly. So I've been listening to a lot of his videos and stuff, and ironically all these MGTOW guys are around the same age as me. I'm 42, and they all have the same outlook. You know, Sandman is an entrepreneur. He freelance as a photographer. He runs his photography business. And then Clarey is an author. He has a couple books out, and he, you know, takes donation online, shooting YouTube videos and stuff like that. This is why I'm inspired by him. I'm shooting more videos as I'm driving. In my previous video, I mentioned that all my videos are very niche. I don't. It's all about martial art and stuff like that, and it's not getting the viewing that I would like. Anyways, in one of his videos, he said that there's 2 jobs that you gotta have as a man, and one of them is to be an entrepreneur. You gotta have your own business, and the other one is to work out, and more specifically lift weight. And I'm doing one of the 2. I've been an entrepreneur ever since I can remember. You know, I always have my own business of some sort, and now I have several business. I have a martial arts school, and I teach all over the place, a different after-school program, and I have a web design business. So any given time, I have a full-time job, I have a check from there, and then I have a check coming in from my after-school program, and then my martial arts school, and my web design business. And I think partly because I'm a former refugee, and my parents are entrepreneurs. My grandfather was a business person. He moved from Vietnam. So he moved from China to Vietnam to do business, and he stayed in Vietnam when the communists took over China. So anyways, I've been an entrepreneur, and there's ups and downs, but it's very invigorating. You feel like you're in control of your destiny, but it's very taxing on you emotionally. So he said there's 2 jobs you gotta have as a young man, or as a man. And one of them was to be an entrepreneur. The other one was to lift weight. And I find it kind of interesting that he said that, and I had the same type of thought, and I teach people to do that, but I personally don't do it. I do a lot of personal training sessions with my clients, but I don't really lift weight. I have a bad shoulder and crap like that, but I always tell myself I gotta lift weight. And the reason why he said to lift weight is because females are attracted to men who are physically, you know, looks good, you know, especially like coming from the fashion industry. Suits and clothing hang better on a wider shoulder, bigger chest, barrel chest, narrow waist, you know, for men. And so it gets to the point where it comes. Now I'm saying this because I feel as an Asian man, you got to do. This point is especially important. I teach martial arts, so indirectly I'm kind of lifting weight because I teach Brazilian Jiu-jitsu and Judo and MMA, so I'm constantly pushing, shoving people around. And I'm a small guy, so I'm constantly pushing and shoving, but my physique can be better, you know, but it's getting harder because I'm 42, so my testosterone level is lower, so it's hard for me to lift weight. I don't feel like lifting weight. It's so taxing on my body. I don't think I'm built for lifting weight. Anyways, after hearing this, it just reinforced a lot of things I've been thinking about, and especially for Asian men. We're a minority in America, and we're viewed very differently than other ethnic groups. You know, Asian men are the least likely to be picked on an online dating site. Ironically, on the flip side, Asian women are the most highly prized choice. So if you're an Asian woman, you get picked by everybody. Like you get bombarded with like people wanting to date you. And if you're an Asian man, you're like, good luck. You're like on the flip side, opposite side. They're really like, you know. And I think partly because, you know, we are culturally out of the norm. We are maybe 2 to 3 inches a lot shorter than your average American man. In my case, I'm a lot shorter. I was a very weak baby and stuff like that when I was born. I think also we are more intellectually driven. If you look up studies on different race, Asian men we have the lowest testosterone levels of all the ethnic group, while black men have one of the highest testosterone level, and that can explain why there's so much anger and violence in the black community, and not so much anger and violence in the Asian community, you know, in Japan and worldwide, you know, and you can see that replicated over and over again. So don't take my word for it. I'll include some video links in my video. But so I think because we're out of our element a little bit, especially if you're an Asian person and you live in America, you know, we are a Caucasian women, is the cultural norm is out of the cultural norm. They're not used to dating a guy or interacting with an Asian person who's a little bit more subdued, a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more forward thinking. You know what I mean? And unless you're lucky enough to meet a female who appreciates those qualities, you're not going to get through the first base or even get on a date with them. So it's really difficult. So you got to maximize everything. And I think the easiest thing for Asian men is lift weights, like what Aaron Carey said. You know, most of us are entrepreneurial. Most of us have a good paying job and crap like that. We have the for Asian people, we have the highest income bracket, you know, of all ethnic race. We have the highest Asian ethnic income bracket, so that's not an issue there. So my suggestion to all of my Asian brothers out there is to start lifting weight. You know, you don't have to lift religiously, just lift at least 2 to 3 times a week. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna shoot videos of me lifting weight, and you also gotta work out. You know what I mean? And my personal belief is, I've been doing martial arts for 20 years. Bruce Lee alluded to it in one of his movies. You gotta also do martial art. But I think the Asian community is gonna be pissed off about this. You cannot fucking do Kung Fu, okay, or Tai Chi, or any of those bullshit Kung Fu martial art, Chinese martial art. A lot of it is bullshit, okay? It's taught by other unathletic, not very strong Asian guys, okay? And Kung Fu, ironically, is very popular in America for big white guys or loppers. People love the Asian cultures. Okay, give it to them. Fuck them. You know, I mean, they can do Kung Fu all they want because they're 6'2", they're full of muscle. No one's gonna test them to see how good their Kung Fu is. If you want efficiency, if you want the ability to kick ass and defend yourself and stand up to your right, or basically defend yourself when you need to throw down, my suggestion is you gotta do Thai boxing. You know, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-jitsu, basically all the subset of what makes a good mixed martial artist, right? And they are Brazilian Jiu-jitsu, Judo, Thai boxing, wrestling, etc. All right. And my suggestion is that you got to do it. You got to do it. You're gonna get your ass kicked because as Asian men, genetically, we're not made to fucking fight. We're not made to throw down. But you got to do it. It's gonna give you a mental edge. You know what I mean? I'm only 5'3", 5'3.5", and if I have to throw down with someone, I mean, I'll get my ass kicked, but I'll throw down pretty hard. And because I run an MMA school, I throw down quite a bit with guys who come into the gym and, you know, try out my class and shit like that. So I know exactly what I can and cannot do. And if I need to escalate it, I will, because I have the ability to do that. I have the ability to fight with weapons, sticks, etc., and have that killer instinct that's been honed over the 20 years of training, you know. So my suggestion for all Asian men out there is to be an entrepreneur. All right, you can't let the fucking white person or whatever hold you down. You gotta have the ability to fluid. Okay. B, you gotta lift weight. You gotta lift weight, and a subset lifting weight is to do martial art. All right, and not some bullshit Kung Fu martial art, Tai Chi shit like that. But you gotta do martial art that are like, that will tax your nervous system, that will tax you mentally and physically. All right, and the type of martial art that does that, or martial art that's on the Olympic, you know what I mean? Most of the subset of martial art in MMA or in the Olympic, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but Judo, boxing, Thai boxing is not in the Olympic, but it's the national sport of Thailand. You know what I mean? My suggestion is look for a good Kyokushinkai karate school if you don't have a Thai boxing school around you. All right? Judo. Okay, Judo is boring as shit. It's fucking hard. You got to do it. All right? Join the MMA school, but watch out for the come along MMA school. The MMA school that just jump on the bandwagon. You know what I mean? I hate those schools. You know, they jump on the bandwagon and they hang up like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sign and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like they just jumped on the bandwagon recently. You know what I mean? If you really want to fight, or learn, learn the mental edge, you got to pick up a martial arts style that will tax you mentally, physically, so that when you do have to throw down, you have that mental edge, okay? But I'm going to shoot a video explaining that you shouldn't fall in love with the style of martial art. There is no style of martial art that's going to help you win a fight, okay? Fighting is fighting, all right? All right, I'll talk to you guys later.